你知道吗？现在外国女孩
Did you know? Foreign women are now impacting China's marriage market with cheap dowries. In 2024, a heated discussion erupted over the idea of opening international marriages and introducing foreign wives to China. This was like stirring up a hornet's nest. Many Chinese women criticized the idea, saying these foreign wives were here just to cause trouble, claiming that marrying foreigners was essentially human trafficking and that it disrupted market order. But the truth is, foreign marriages have long been a reality. In Guangxi and Yunnan, many single Chinese men have already been marrying women from Vietnam, Cambodia, and Myanmar. And now, Russian women are entering this market too. According to the 2022 China Civil Affairs Statistical Yearbook, in recent years, the percentage of men in Guangxi and Yunnan marrying foreign women has reached a staggering 92%. That means out of every 100 international marriages, 92 are between Chinese men and foreign women. This shocking number comes down to two main reasons. Geographical proximity. It's easy for Southeast Asian women to come to China. Cultural and aesthetic compatibility. Vietnamese, Thai, and Cambodian women share similar looks and traditions with Chinese people, and many even speak Mandarin. Now, Russian women have also started marrying Chinese men, and many of them think they've hit the jackpot. After all, Russian women are admired worldwide for their beauty, so why would they choose to marry a Chinese man? This is where Chinese women have started laughing at men's naivety. They believe Chinese men are too gullible, thinking that these foreign women are better just because they don't demand dowries. But have they ever wondered why these Russian and Southeast Asian women aren't marrying in their own countries? Think about it. Do the men in those countries know something that Chinese men don't? Let's be honest, why would a Russian woman, famous worldwide for her beauty, come to China to marry a short, chubby man earning less than 10,000 yuan a month? From a foreign woman's perspective, Western men are seen as too free-spirited, Japanese and Korean men are too patriarchal, but Chinese men are hardworking, responsible, and good husbands, the perfect dream man. Or at least, that's what they say. Now, let's compare this to China's dating scene. In Hangzhou, a massive blind date event attracted thousands of participants, but nearly all of them were women. Men were almost non-existent. In some cities, the dating market ratio has skyrocketed to 40 women for every one man. Every time there's a matchmaking event, organizers have to hunt down men to participate, otherwise, there wouldn't be enough to fill the spots. Right now, a man earning less than 100,000 yuan a year has no advantage in the dating market. Meanwhile, some women earning just 3,000 yuan per month, with no house, no car, and no savings, reject men making 30,000 yuan a month because they don't meet the fantasy of a luxury villa, sports car, and a millionaire salary. This zero-dowry revolution reflects a harsh market reality. Just like capital always seeks maximum returns, when China's marriage market inflates its prices, international marriage becomes an arbitrage opportunity. This won't just reshape China's marriage market pricing, it could even trigger an unprecedented social transformation. I'm Kaijing Xiaomogu, a finance professional who recently started making short videos. I don't support radical feminism, nor extreme male chauvinism. In my opinion, dowries, houses, and cars are just material things. If I have enough money, I don't care about those expenses. But even if a man has 500,000 yuan in dowry money and multiple houses, if the couple doesn't get along, their life will still be miserable. Any attempt to limit competition geographically will eventually be crushed by market forces. After all, the government has already given its answer. On February 1, 2024, China introduced new dowry regulations, banning marriage transactions and allowing courts to support dowry refunds if demanded. That's all for today. If you're curious about how economics influences relationships, follow me, and let's talk about money, love, and life. On the internet, it's common to see many men complaining about women, saying that they are gold diggers, demanding, and so on. And there are also many women complaining about men, calling them trash boys and bad-mouthing them in videos. Of course, these videos usually tell the truth, but you know how it is. Let me tell you, who's making these complaints. Let me tell you something I saw. It was supposed to be just another blind date event, but every time I participate, I get more and more shocked by what's going on. Chinese men, instead of trying to get to know women from their own culture, seem to be completely fascinated by Russian women. And it's almost a funny scene. These men circle around these women like a pack of dogs in heat, all trying to impress them. They offer themselves, try to please, but in reality, the women don't even care. At one of these events, a Russian woman was surrounded by about 10 men, while a Chinese woman, way in the back, all alone, observed everything with no interest. I couldn't take it anymore and lost my patience. I started shouting, saying how naive Chinese men are. Just because these women don't ask for an engagement ring doesn't mean they're cheaper or have less value. They never stop to think about what they're doing. And speaking of that, on the internet, it's common to see many men complaining about women, saying they are gold diggers, demanding, and so on. And of course, there are many women complaining about men too, calling them trash boys and badmouthing them in videos. And yes, these videos usually tell the truth, but have you noticed that it's always the same people who complain the most? You know, it's like my brother. Recently, he posted something on social media saying, "Women only want men to spend money, as if they can't even buy me a cigarette." And then, with a straight face, he asked for $2,000 to take his girlfriend to Disneyland. How embarrassing, right? My brother is a trash boy. He always says, "Oh, women are so demanding, so annoying, so dramatic." But he never stopped flirting with other girls. Never. He's exactly that, a trash boy. He's always saying that women are difficult, but guess what? He's never been alone. He chases multiple girls at the same time. And that's how he lives. So, don't be fooled by the women who talk badly about men on the internet. Let me tell you, those who complain about men and criticize them, many of these women have several ex-boyfriends in their phone contact list, waiting for the right moment to replace them. You know what they're doing? They are lowering the competition. I'll tell you, even though women sometimes complain about men, like I've also talked about my dirty dad, if I didn't walk away from him, it's because he has qualities that outweigh his flaws. I benefit from that. No matter how much I complain, I still take advantage. That's the truth. Now, think with me, when a man talks bad about a woman but doesn't leave her, there's a reason for that. They're discouraging the competition, those who haven't experienced what they did, to push other women away. They do this because, deep down, they don't want to lose the woman. So, they try to convince others that she's difficult or problematic. In the end, they just want to eliminate the competition. Now, tell me, have you seen if those who complain have separated? Divorced? Or after the divorce, remarried? Or after a breakup, got with someone else? They keep going. They always keep going. That's how it works. Now, those who don't complain probably aren't afraid of whatever comes next. They face what's ahead, without fear. What I want to express in this video is, don't just listen to what others say. Go live your own experience, like a life lesson. If it doesn't work out, you can go back. Worst case scenario, you end it. And then, what happens? You start over. Simple as that. I'll tell you, many of your competitors are demotivating you, trying to scare you and discourage you. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people like that. They try to take away your motivation, but in the end, the one who will decide is you.
Why do so many Russian women want to marry Chinese men? Hello everyone, my name is Naz, and I'm a Russian wife living in China. The first reason is that China is developing very fast. When I arrived here 6 months ago, I could hardly believe it. China is completely different from what we imagined. Even in the few years I've lived here, the country has grown tremendously. So, many Russian women come to China and simply don't want to leave, just like me. The second reason is that there are many men in China, but few in Russia. If we look at the ratio in Russia, there are about 10 women for every man. Because of this, I have many friends who are still unmarried and don't have children. So, many Russian women seek Chinese partners, and I think this is a great thing. Many of them even look for boyfriends on Chinese websites. So, if you haven't found your soulmate yet, you still have a chance. Don't give up. The third reason is that our countries are neighbors and have a good relationship. The Chinese welcome Russians, and Russians also like the Chinese. Because of this, many Russian women feel comfortable looking for a husband in China. The fourth reason is that Chinese husbands are known for being very loving and caring toward their wives, and this is true. In Russia, it's very rare to see a man who truly takes care of his wife. Some time ago, I went to a cafe and saw a couple. The woman was from Belarus, and the man was Chinese. This Chinese husband made tea for her, fed her with a spoon, and took care of her so gently. I thought it was incredibly romantic. On top of that, Chinese husbands help with household chores and taking care of the children. They do this very well. And what woman doesn't love a caring man who gives flowers and takes care of her? That's why more and more Russian women want to come to China and find a Chinese husband.
引进大量外国女
Bringing a large number of foreign women to marry in China is a way to save China. Foreign girls are rushing into China's marriage market with zero dowry. The men are happy, but the mothers-in-law are not pleased. Recently, the topic of international marriages has suddenly become very popular, and the mothers-in-law have been leaving comments. They say it's destroying the market economy, but it's true that some foreign brides marrying Chinese men don't ask for a single penny of dowry. If you don't demand a car, a house, or savings, Chinese bachelors are really lucky. The mothers-in-law feel that these foreign women are disrupting the marriage market and are strongly opposed to it. Now, the mothers-in-law and the bachelors are divided into two camps, one in favor and the other against. So, unmarried guys, you are definitely in favor, because Chinese women today demand dowries in the hundreds of thousands, while foreign brides don't ask for anything. Is this also related to the fact that there are more men than women in China? On the one hand, as women's status improves, more and more women are starting to pursue an independent and autonomous life. They are no longer willing to sacrifice their own economic requirements for the man's financial situation for marriage, as these demands are too high. This has led to many men being unable to marry. But what about foreign women? Especially those from economically underdeveloped countries, they value the hard work, progress, and sense of responsibility of Chinese men, rather than an excessive pursuit of material conditions. Of course, this doesn't mean that all Chinese men are willing to marry foreign women. Everyone's views are different, but in any case, the influx of foreign women offers Chinese men more options and possibilities. The idea of bringing a large number of foreign women to marry in China? It's not necessarily accurate. International marriage is a combination of personal emotions and various factors between individuals, but there are still many people who raise doubts, concerned that such marriages may face various problems, such as cultural differences, language barriers, different living habits, which could lead to an unhappy marriage and eventually cause some social conflicts. So, friends in front of the screen, do you think these concerns are a bit unnecessary? What are your thoughts on today's topic?
Recently, I've been observing a phenomenon that has sparked controversy and outrage among Chinese women, the growing preference of Chinese men for foreign women, especially Russians. This trend, driven by stories of Slavic women offering themselves for marriages without demanding a dowry, has caused a wave of indignation and heated debates on social media and in real life. And between us, I think this outrage is more than justified, especially now that Chinese women are facing some tough competition. The situation gained attention after a Belarusian young woman appeared at a matchmaking park in China. The girl, who speaks 5 languages, has an impressive appearance and earns 50,000 yuan per month, was holding a sign saying she was looking for a Chinese husband and, most importantly, didn't want a dowry. This scene caused quite a stir in the Chinese dating market since the dowry is a deeply ingrained cultural tradition in Chinese society. And honestly, I think Chinese men are being naive in thinking this is a big advantage. Think about it. Russian and Eastern European women are considered the most beautiful by men worldwide. So the question I want to ask you is, why would this woman, desired by men from various countries, choose a chubby, short Chinese man who earns less than she does? The reaction from Chinese women was immediate. Many began to speak out in the comments, criticizing the naivete of Chinese men who believe foreign women, especially Russians, are cheaper because they don't demand a dowry. They argue that men are naive to think these women are interested in them for love, and not for financial interest or social status. And between us, I completely agree with them. Chinese men, on the other hand, seem enchanted by the idea of marrying foreign women, especially Russians. The Slavic beauty, with blonde hair, blue eyes, and delicate features, is highly valued in China. Moreover, the idea of not having to pay a dowry, which can reach tens of thousands of yuan, is extremely attractive to many. But in my opinion, they're being naive to believe these women are willing to marry them just because they're Chinese. Many Chinese women warn that this apparent advantage may be a trap. They argue that men are naive to believe Russian women are willing to marry them just because they're Chinese. Many point out that while these women may not demand a dowry, they may have other financial expectations, such as a comfortable life, expensive trips, and luxurious gifts. And in my view, this is something Chinese men need to seriously consider. The controversy gained even more momentum with the circulation of videos and reports from Chinese men who married Russian women and ended up regretting it. In many cases, the marriages were motivated by financial interests, and the women ended up abandoning their husbands after getting what they wanted. As seen in stories of women who, after obtaining Chinese citizenship or access to financial resources, left their husbands and returned to their home countries. Additionally, Chinese women emphasize that men are underestimating the cultural complexity and value differences between the two countries. They argue that although Russian women may be beautiful and charming, the lack of mutual understanding and cultural differences can lead to problematic and unsustainable relationships. And in my opinion, this is something Chinese men need to consider before diving into these relationships. The outrage from Chinese women is not just about the men's preference for foreigners. They also criticize the social and cultural pressure that forces them to pay high dowries to marry, while men are seen as privileged for not having to bear the same costs. Many Chinese women are tired of being judged by their appearance, age, and financial status, while men are celebrated for marrying foreign women. On social media, Chinese women have been expressing their frustration and indignation. Many share personal stories of how they were pressured to pay exorbitant dowries or were rejected for not meeting the beauty or social status standards demanded by men and their families. They argue that while Chinese men seek foreign women who don't demand dowries, they are left out and judged for not being good enough. And in my opinion, this is something that needs to change. The controversy surrounding Chinese men's preference for foreign women, especially Russians, reflects gender tensions and inequalities in Chinese society. While men are drawn to the idea of marrying beautiful and cheap women, Chinese women are outraged by the social and cultural pressure that forces them to pay high dowries and compete with foreigners for a place in the dating market. The naivete of Chinese men, who believe Russian women are interested in them for love and not financial interest, is one of the central points of this discussion. Chinese women warn that by seeking relationships with foreign women, men may be putting themselves in complicated and unsustainable situations. And in my opinion, they're right. Meanwhile, the outrage from Chinese women continues to grow, and many are demanding changes in society and culture so they can be valued for who they are, not for how much money or status they can offer in a marriage. And between us, I think this change is more than necessary. Now I'd like to hear your point of view on this dilemma. Do you think Chinese men are falling into some kind of trap, or do you agree with what they're doing? If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next video.